When you begin, it's always hard to start. It's common that you have high expectations. At first you lose when learning trading art. But don't give up, just try to have some patience. Of course you think that game will be so easy. Such business is as cruel as the rest. Don't let your wins just make your head be dizzy. If stay and trade, result will be the best. I know that every single day you can begin the competition. Get profit with your every trade. Just know that forex is your mission. Forex is my life. Forex is my life. Some time will pass and you will see the trading is not so hard for those who there long. There's always one whose help is there waiting. And finally, you'll keep your profit strong. I know that every single day you can begin the competition. Get profit with your every trade. Just know that forex is your mission. Forex is my life. Forex is my life. Forex is my life. You know that only forex will keep you continue getting better. Just don't give up, be in a deal, and know that forex only matter. Forex is my life.
Understand the incredible power of that little area between your two ears and spend more time focusing there, or at least give it 50-50. You know, forget for a little bit about oscillators and all those other things. Take your current trading strategy, take a look at where your weaknesses are. What's highly likely is half the people listening to us, regardless of when they listen to us, have got a system right now that's really close, but they constantly are messing it up because they react based on pain or pleasure, fear and greed and the emotions. So invest more time in your trading mind and understand the power of building a belief about that signal and the power of repetitions, and I think that'll take them to the next level.
Learn to unplug from the markets as well. Sometimes we get so wrapped up in the charts, and right now I'm zeroing in because the E-mini's like crossing my support line where I may make a decision. Sometimes we get so wrapped up in the charts, we don't know how to unplug. So I would say learn how to unplug. You know, because that can get a little unhealthy as well. It can damage relationships. So learn how to step away. Maybe even learn some lower effort methodologies where you don't have to be tied into the markets so much. I call it tick fever. When you're in a fever about every single tick of the market, that can be unhealthy and sort of damage your trading as well. So that would be a bit of advice. Just also, in addition to everything else, learn how to unplug and turn off the monitors and go for a walk. a lot of times what I'll do is, like, if I'm working a strategy right now, it's the short-term trading strategy. Every 30 days, there's something to do, right? About every 30 days, sometimes every 15 days to the portfolio. Once I make the move that I got to make for the time frame I'm in, and once the stops are in, I literally, the second it's executed, I walk away. I turn off the monitors, and I know, okay, this is a 15-day trade. I don't have to look at the trade again for another 3 hours. I will turn off the monitors, go out, be with my wife, enjoy a cup of coffee. Probably what I'm going to do, unless I have to make a move here off the E-mini. A little bit later today. If it's a 10-hour trade, I know I don't have to be looking at that trade every 3 minutes. It's a 10-hour trade, I might have to look at it like every half hour, every 45 minutes. So once I engage, once I've made a trade management decision, I literally turn off them, just click the little button and walk out of the office.
The best thing about being a trader is the massive amount of no, not the it's the freedom. It's the freedom. Again, I mentioned earlier about time versus money. It's really the freedom to make your own schedule. You know, I trade the hours that I trade because I want to. I'm not forced to. I don't have to report to a job every day. At the same time, I can kind of make my own schedule. Now, you do want to run your trading like a business. So you want to be consistent with when you're trading. But the point is, I trade from, like I said, I day trade from 8 o'clock to 11 o'clock. The New York time every day. After 11 o'clock, I can literally do whatever I want for the rest of the day. I have a trader friend out in the UK who literally, this is how his day goes. He'll set up his day. He'll wake up. He'll identify everything he needs to identify in order for his trading. Takes him maybe an hour or so. He spends the rest of the day either cruising around on a yacht or on the golf course. And while he's doing this, you know, he may check his phone a couple times a day, but he's making a massive income while enjoying his life. So it's the ability to do that. It's the ability to go to the wife and say, hey, you want to go out for dinner or lunch today? Sure. It's the ability to, you know, I've got a 11-month-old in the house. It's the ability to just, you know, hang out with him during the day and just, you know, and play a little bit. It's the ability, is that freedom of time. Because you can always make money back. If I go broke, you can always find a way to make money back. You can get a job and just work more. The one thing you can't get back is time. You know, we all have a time limit, right? We expire at some point. So I'm always a big believer is you want to make the most out of your time, and I refuse to, you know, spend my life, you know, just working the entire time and looking back and say, oh, I wish I could have done this. I wish I could have done that. With trading, I can do that. Even if I'm on the road, I can, you know, internet connection, a computer, I can hook it up and trade from, you know, out in California or something like that. So it's that flexibility and that freedom of time is which I enjoy most about trading. I would say the worst thing is that you're accountable. You're accountable for yourself. There's no boss to tell you, hey, you're doing good, you're doing bad. You're your own boss. And it's very frustrating when the market doesn't go your way. It's very hard to, you know, trade for, you know, take 5 losing trades in a row and then tell yourself, hey, I've got to take number 6. It's dealing with drawdowns is hard. No one likes losing money. It hurts a lot. And that's, you know, the worst part is dealing with that, going through those time periods where you're just constantly losing money. And, you know, it's really out of your control. You know, we don't control what the market does. The market's out there to hurt as many people as possible. We have no control over that. And it's tough not to have that control. It's tough to be 100% right in your analysis, do everything you were supposed to do, and then still see it not come out the way you wanted it to. And that hurts a lot. And it's tough to overcome.
Position size small. Learn how to make money with a small position size and a small account size. Because if you scale up, it's not going to make anything better if you don't know how to make money with a small amount of money first. So I would say keep your position size small, Learn how to ride before you take the wheel.
Practice. Practice, 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 and practice some more. And not just the technical side, but put a lot of emphasis and practice on the mental side as well. Traders think that, and I did this too. It's so easy. All you have to do is buy low and sell high, but it really isn't. And you really need to go through and practice. And I hear traders tell me all the time, hey, if it doesn't have money behind it, it's not worth it. I'm not interested. And my response is, well, if you don't have the mental fortitude to be able to trade, simulation trade or paper trade or practice trade without money on the line, man, you're not going to be able to, you don't have the mental fortitude to trade with real money either. And so I think that is a really, really important thing to do, is to practice as much as you can.
There are so many people, I think this is most important. It was true for me, I'm sure it'll be true for most people, is that when you first get into the business of trading, right, there is so much negativity. Now, some people think this business doesn't even work, right? And to think that, the 1% of the population that pretty much control everything come from a finance background. Well, in the United Kingdom, that is very, very true. Maybe in other places it's different, but in the UK, it's 100% true. I always say to guys that, listen, ignore the negativity. You have to be sure of yourself. It's the kind of business that requires confidence. So if you want to succeed, you've got to be, beyond everything else, you have to be able to shut out the noise, because half the people talking to you, they don't know anything about trading, right? They're just talking. So the bottom line is, if you can shut out the noise, then you have a very high chance of success, because most people don't succeed because they listen to the noise around them. So I think that's the most important, that's the only thing I'll say to a trader. If you want to succeed, shut out the noise. If you take in the noise, I can almost guarantee it. It's like you're digging your own grave, just slowly, right? So you'll try, but ultimately you've got to shut out the noise. And I think that's important.
Trade with edge. You need edge to make money. What I mean by that is, you need trades that will work more times than not for you. And no matter how weak you think your psychology is, or how bad you think your technology is, or how little capital you actually have, or how bad you think your retail broker is to you, or how high the commissions are, you need to have trading edge. It needs to be personal, it needs to be internalized, it needs to be a part, it needs to highlight and accentuate your talents.
Find your own way as a trader.
I love that. Find your own way as a trader. Awesome. Tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked me to expand, because it might leave some people hanging. Ultimately, you have to trade in a manner that's consistent with who you are as a person. However, you're first going to have to identify, well, geez, how am I going to trade? Am I going to be a fundamental trader, a technical trader, whatever that is? Find a methodology that seems reasonable and start chipping away at it. Don't expect success overnight. Give it a year, 2 years, and then you'll start to see, if you've done it right, some tangible results. But don't get the impression that after 3 months you're going to be consistent as a trader. Really look at it as a journey, just like you would any other profession. It's going to take some time, but ultimately you got to find your own way as a trader. But you are going to need help along the way. You're going to need to reach out to colleagues. You're going to need to read books by successful traders and take little nuggets of information and plug it in and create your own style.
Look at the U.S. at the moment. That Trump thing with Mueller, Mueller was very clear. He said, definitely no collusion. However, there could be obstruction, but we're not exonerating him. You guys have to make up your own mind. And of course, Trump comes out and says, "I'm totally exonerated." The Democrats say he's still guilty. They don't look at facts anymore. And that's what happens with traders when they don't keep a journal. They don't know, okay, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing right? What do I need to change? And that, whether you're a mechanical trader or a discretionary trader, because as a mechanical trader, you have to ask yourself that question. Okay, is the set of stats coming out, or the losses coming out, such that it's normal losses, so I just keep executing the system, or have the assumptions changed so the system's no longer operating? So to me, keeping a journal is absolutely essential. It takes you 20 minutes? I think the people, you don't do it because you don't want to go through the pain again of, if you've been having a losing run, you don't want to go through.
It's about being really honest with yourself.
Exactly.
And that's hard.
That's hard. That's really hard, especially if you're screwed up. I should have done it again. I read a really interesting book called Daring Greatly. I forgot the author's name, but one of the things she says there, I think, applies to traders. There are 3 major psychological issues when it comes to dealing with uncertainty. I'm not good enough. In the moment you feel you're not good enough, you need someone to blame, usually yourself, and that blame then turns to a bit of shame. So you start avoiding it and you start making excuses. And when I'm teaching, I thought, yes, that's true. I see that pattern all the time, because you should follow the rules. With benefit of hindsight, you always know what you should have done. And when you don't do it, you start to blame yourself, and then get some shame, and then say, okay, let's find another set of rules. Let's find another system. Readers, what I would suggest to help with the improvement is you do maybe 6 or 7 trades, see what you did right, see what you did wrong, and then say, okay, these are the things I didn't do that I would like to have done, I should have done correctly. Make some action to change it, keep a record of what you did, see whether or not it worked, and then change it again if you have to. So if you keep doing that 6 or 7 trades, especially for beginners, you have to improve. And that to me is what goes in the journal. Working with a group, especially if you are a retail trader, see, that's what the banks have over retail traders. They have groups, they have supports, if I can put it that way, especially in prop houses. We don't have that as retail traders, so you have to form your own support group. I think this is important. You find a group of people that suit your personality and suit your trading style, and try and keep them for life. The thing with trading is that it's not just what's out there, it's not the system or the markets, it's you. Pete used to have a comment, he used to say, market understanding multiplied by you, that's your personality, equals success, and I couldn't agree with it more. So many people tend to have this idea, for example, all I need is a mechanical system and I'm going to make my capital return, and they forget the you element, and you can't do that, because you will always sabotage yourself if your methodology and your rules of risk management and your money management rules do not accommodate